All right, I hate the sound.
Good.
That just sounds bad. She fighting already?
Oh yeah, she's already bit me.
Yeah, I saw the Band-Aid scraps.
She's a fighter. So she's not happy. The immortal words of Matt from Kansas City. She'll fight you.
We're basically taking out plugs and the wires and the ignition coils to do a compression test. Am I getting that right?
That is correct.
Make sure she's good to go there. We got new spark plugs that we're putting in. We're going to do an oil change because she drove way more than she was supposed to. Not to any fault of her own. We asked a lot of her. And she did well, but she's not happy.
Oh no, she's pissed. That V2 life, man. Plugs are hard to get to, especially if you have big hands.
We need tiny hands.
Yeah, well.
I don't have them. I'm sorry.
No, you sure don't. Not that would matter. Here's the plug.
Survey says.
She's not burnt. She's not oil soaked. Timing mark after driving 1,300 miles looks like it's halfway down the strap, like exactly where it needs to be. It's got a little bit of gross. A little bit of brown right there on the
Ceramic.
No, it's on the electron there. It doesn't look too bad. So I'm pretty sure that misfire was not really a misfire. And there's a little bit of glitter in there, but nothing really. Turn your flashlight on. So there's a little bit of glitter in there, but not terrible.
Nothing to write home about.
I've seen worse.
I think everybody's seen worse.
And I've seen worse in engines that are okay. Trying to move it around, see if I can get the oil to thin out so I can see just how much there is. Yeah, there's some glitter there. You see it in the camera?
Yeah, the little spots. But is that from you cutting it, or is that from...
Could be both. Let me see. Like I don't see anything in the oil filter media itself. I think we're good.
Sweet.
I said there's a little bit in the bottom of the filter here. And if that's all that there is and there's none really stuck up on there on the filter, we should be okay. And some of that is definitely from me cutting because it's blue. So, no worries.
We're good?
We're good.
Sweet.
Compression test checked out. We didn't film any of that, did we?
No.
Yeah, we're horrible people. Between 155 and 160 on all 8 cylinders. On the third rotation. I know some people do the second rotation. I do third rotation, but as long as all the numbers are matching-ish, they're good. Spark plugs are all good. Changed them out anyway, but they were all good. So the oil's got a tiny bit of glitter in it, but nothing to really be concerned about. Catch can didn't have any oil in it. It had like 6 or 7 drops of it. Mostly it was water from the E85.
Show them the belt.
The belt was definitely a point of concern. I did cut this piece off. This one was just kind of wrapped around and cut and stuff. Yeah, so was this one. Where the rest of it is, no idea. On a track in Noble, Oklahoma, I think.
Probably.
Probably. So, I guess now we're just going to fill it with oil. And then we got to check the ground under the air cleaner, the intake, back seat, and the battery. Make sure those are good. And we're good to go racing.
Sounds good to me.
I know this video has kind of been all over the place, and we've got a lot going on here between getting home from race week, having the car not acting right, going through all the stuff on the car, the maintenance, the compression check, the oil change, all that kind of good stuff. And now we're back in my truck again because I may have found a trailer. I'm actually in the wrong lane and I am screwed on that one side. I'm over here. But I may have found a trailer. So I've now taken a ride 3 hours north into Virginia to go take a look at a trailer. Guy says it's in really good shape. It looks really good from all the pictures. I've been talking to him back and forth a bunch. And it's a little bit bigger than the last one we had. And it's definitely darker than the last one we had because this one's black. And it's a gooseneck. One thing, I've towed trailers for 20 years of my life now. Never towed a gooseneck. I've always been towing bumper pole stuff. So this ought to be interesting. But we're going to see if we can make a deal and I can take this thing home. We'll have a new trailer so that when we go to Street Car Takeover, which starts tomorrow. I like doing these things at the last minute, huh? See if we can do this and get the Street Car Takeover and have a trailer and still be able to have our normal race program as we do. Let's find out. Well, there she is. Hooked up to my truck for a reason. She's coming home. It's actually got a lot more features than I previously thought. It's going to be a good trailer.
What in the actual?
This is how we do, you know? I mean, I filled it up to the proper air pressure before we left. You watched me do it. But it's my fault for trying to take it on a trip on with the whole car. We should have put new tires on it.
Well, we were kind of rushing.
And when you rush, this happens.
Yeah. Can't have anything nice.
Nope, can't have anything nice.
We are here at Rockingham for Street Car Takeover. We just arrived. People are starting to come through the gate. So we got here just in the nick of time with our lovely new trailer. This thing's a beast, just like the car. Had a color change from white to black. It's gooseneck. It's got a little spot for us to kind of hang out and sleep at night, so that's pretty cool. But we made it. So we're gonna unload, get set up, and have some fun.
Roll racing has commenced. We're up here in the stands with our standard roll racing. There's nothing I can do down start line for Sharon. So she should be coming up here in just a little bit. And we'll see if we'll see A, she can remember how to roll race, and B, if the car's gonna go faster, slower, or whatnot. We're only doing I think it's like 1250 roll race, so it's not gonna be the actual quarter mile an hour, but it should be close.
When they were little, they were like old. Attention to the pits, racers.
Not sure if it was a good run, if it was a bad run, if it spun tires, if it didn't shift, or whatever. 130 was a little slower than I was expecting, but that may not be a bad thing. The car may be actually going faster on the ET and slower on the mile per hour end. So we'll find out in a minute here. What's up, roll racer, homie?
Yeah, that we have to do at least one more hit. I couldn't get it to scan.
Okay.
So I was in the lanes, I kept moving up, and at one of the times I just wanted to see what the IATs were at, and it scanned it, but it was fine. It was like 109. I stopped it, kept scooching up, and then as I'm trying to get my lane, it wasn't connecting. So I don't know.
Okay. How was the run? Was it okay?
It felt okay. It felt slow.
Well, problems continue. Having a problem getting the computer to connect to HP tuners and connect to the car. She has no idea what happened with the fourth gear. She couldn't really tell me like whether it happened before fourth gear or after fourth gear. She thinks the car might have nosed over, but not sure. So no idea what's going on. So we're working on it. All right, 128.74. That's not unexpected because her IAT2s were really, really hot. She was like 104 before she left, so I'm sure that she's down on power because of that. Normally we have a lot lower IAT2s. I hope the computer was scanning because it was scanning before she left, and it seemed like it was kind of like dilly-dallying down the track again, could because it was hot or I don't know what, but she hasn't called me on the phone, so nothing's like severely broken. I did tell her that she saw 12 anything on the AFR gauge to let out, or I didn't see 12 or 11 on the AFR gauge to let out, and she didn't, so she went all the way through. So hopefully everything's okay, and we got some data off of that pass, so if there's something weird happen, or something weird did happen, either way, I can see what it was.
The beginning of the run when I was going up to 40, I freaked out because I saw 15, and I'm like, no, at the cone. So that's why I was not up to 40. That was why that was weird. And then once I hit it, I saw it drop down, and then I kept watching it, and I did pedal it a little bit. So that's why the mile an hour is down, because I lifted my foot a little bit.
Why?
Just because it actually went, and I was looking, and it was just a hot mess. But the AFRs did drop down. It was like 11
something?
11, 12, yeah.
Okay.
Felt much better. It didn't do that weird thing on fourth shift.
But you also pedaled it. Where'd you pedal it? What gear?
I don't remember, but hopefully.
Well, it looks like that log, so let's save that.
I'm letting you touch that. I'm not. Today's not my day.
No, today's not your day, so
No.
Okay, fine, don't touch it. Let me come around and touch it, and then we'll cool it off, because you did launch at like 100 degrees IAT2, so I'm not surprised you went slower, but let's take a look.
Okay.
Alright, so everything looked good except for her lifting the throttle a bunch of times. Looked like she might have spun 2-3 shift too and lifted there, which was good. So we're going to try to go right lane this time. We're actually going to put ice in because you got the 131 degree IAT2. Blew the tires off it trying to get into it, got out, tried to roll back into it, blew the tires off again, tried a third and then I think a fourth time to get into it, kept blowing the tires off of it. Said it was kind of like an ice skating rink out there. She's making too much power, it's too cold, so the tire pressures are definitely too high, and they're only at 23. Remember, we were at 29 when we were at Noble. So we're going to pack it in for the night. That's going to do it for roll racing. Being that we're not really competing in roll racing, we're just testing tune. We've just wasted 2 bags of ice on that. We don't want to waste all our ice for tomorrow. We're gonna kind of call it quits there, and then we're gonna pack up a few things, get ready to go to bed in the trailer, and we'll be back bright and early for drag racing tomorrow. You know, you're not really supposed to blow the tires off doing roll racing.
Yeah. I mean, it went whoop, and I'm like, okay, let out. And we got back in it. It was like an ice cream.
It's not that it's an ice skating rink, it's that your tires are too cold. They need to be warmed up. And you're making more power because your IAT2s are down a lot further. Yeah, so you were making all the power and the tires are too high and not hot enough. So seems good, but it is what it is. Sorry?
Fun will be tomorrow.
Fun will be tomorrow.
Street Car Takeover Rockingham Day 2. Just got done with the driver's meeting, so I am headed back to the car to get it all set to get into the lanes for testing. I think you put down the rear tires down to 20 psi just to make sure that I hook, see what the car is going to do, because we really haven't gotten a test hit yet. So here we go.
that's not bad for sitting in the lanes for 2 hours to run a 10:14 at 134. I don't know how it felt in the car. It looked pretty solid from here. I think I might actually be able to go up in tire pressure a little bit and review the video I just took of it. That's why the video was at a weird angle. I wanted to get perfect angle on those tires. But we might wind up going up a little bit in pressure. And if we're not sitting in the lane for 2 hours, we might be able to actually go a little faster than that. Kind of hoping that we can actually get her on that 10.0 number. But we'll see what happens. Well, the car didn't stall and it kind of left pretty good. How'd you feel?
So it felt a little rowdy. It didn't feel like a 9-second pass, but it felt good. Shifted fine. I didn't feel any spinning.
Okay.
You know, I felt like it was a good solid test hit.
Yeah.
We're basically right where we left off on race week, 10-1, 649 8 mile, 108. You know, like I feel like we didn't go backwards.
Okay.
But it was hot. We were sitting. The IAT2s did not get down as cold as they could have been because I didn't have enough time. Partly my fault to put the pump on.
Okay.
So they could have been colder. So we definitely, I think, have room for improvement throughout the night.
Cool. All right, let's look at those data, make sure everything's copacetic, and we're good to go. All right, we just got called for eliminations, 10-0. Here we go. Looks like somebody forgot what instant green meant. Sleeping on the tree. She ran 0.2 faster and finished like 0.4 back. But it is what it is. We'll try to make a test hit. All right, Sharon did not forget about the instant green. What happened there is actually the guy next to her double bulbed, didn't observe courtesy staging, and Sharon got freaked out. She's never had anybody do that before, so she actually staged herself. Rule of thumb is if somebody double bulbs you and courtesy staging is enforced, do not stage. Don't pre-stage, don't stage. Just sit there and let the light go red. They'll back him off, they'll start again. So a mistake made there, and that's what kind of screwed everything up, got her all sorts of flustered, and to the point where she didn't know what to do. Instant green came down. Her reaction time was a 1.2 to that guy's 0.7, and she finished right behind him. So she was chasing him down something fierce. But that's the way that it goes. That's the way these events are run. That's the way you sign for Street Car Takeover. That's what you get. All right, they actually just called up for a testing tune, so we're gonna go make a testing test. Changes we've made. She's leaving a wildly different RPM, and I took the seat out. Well, that's probably gonna be it. Somebody's running their air conditioner, so there's water in the groove. Had to move her out of it. Could go one of two ways. I couldn't really see the left side tire all that well. Unfortunately, I put her on a bare piece of concrete that really didn't have a whole lot of rubber or prep. For her left side tire, that just didn't see. If we get another run, I'm gonna put her all the way off to the right side. See if that does something. But I don't really think we're gonna get another rip at it. What's up?
So I tried to leave off at 800. It was already idling at like 6 something. So when I went to go bump in, I'm used to the 1500. So I'm like, why is my car not moving? So that's why I was like very shallow stage.
Oh yeah, but it had nothing to do with the fact that S2000 was playing games next to you.
Yeah, I don't know what that was about. But I mean, it was a test and tune hit. We weren't racing, so whatever. And then when I go to leave, I wheel hopped or whatever. But when I was trying to get up to 800 RPM to leave, I looked at it to see where I was at, to see where I was around 800, and it was recording. And when I turned off the track, it's still up, but I don't know when it shut off. So I don't know when if I
What shut off?
The computer, the log. It stopped logging. So I don't know if when I wheel hopped or spun or whatever I was doing, it moved and hit something and stopped the log.
It froze?
It's not logging. I don't know what happened. I haven't touched it.
Okay, I'll take a look at it. Just everything just doesn't want to work. What's your idea? You have no idea. Never mind. All right, hop out of the car. Well, Street Car Takeover is winding down. They're starting to do some finals, but there's still a bunch of cars in the lanes, which is right. Oh, there we go. For test and tune. So we're gonna go put her car in the lane, see if we can run a test and tune. If we can, 99.5% sure she's going to spin the tires. Because I just took a really big swing at the car to try to just get it to react to a change that I've made. She wheel hopped the last time, and that's because I told her to only launch at 800 RPM. I just wanted to see if the new tune would change it to where she should flash the converter like everybody else is doing. But that didn't work. So we're going to go back to what we know. Well, the shock tuning looks like it worked. Unfortunately, wasn't aggressive enough with the tires. 24 PSI was not the answer. So, needed to go up higher because that was, again, wheel hop, which I'm assuming is because, well, A, it pulled track prep, and B, because the shocks did their job. So, it is what it is. I'm pretty sure it's going to end us here.
So as you can see, we are not at the track anymore. We got caught up in the moment. New trailer, just the entire weekend of shenanigans, hanging out with friends. Forgot to record a video. So this is going to be the ending of this one. We have some things in the works, making some plans, see what we can do for the upcoming race season. But definitely stay tuned because we will still have some more videos coming of the Camaro. Jared has been working tirelessly to move that build forward, and it'll be a good time. So until the next one, see you later.